This is an end-to-end test of the House Rummy platform. On the left, we have the MySQL database, which I'm connecting to now. I'll be using this MySQL shell to query the database every so often to show that the MySQL database is updating correctly. On the right, we have two instances of the platform. I'll be creating accounts with both of them, sending a friend request from one account to the other, and then creating a lobby with one, changing the rule set, inviting the other person, starting the game. Before we begin, when you start the game, when you open the website, a guest account is created. And we can see that two guest accounts are created here, one for each of these. They both have randomly generated usernames, no passwords, no email, and no salt. They both also have a created at timestamp. Now we will create a account. The password I'm using here is test. I am doing this to show that on the other account, when I use that same password, no collision will occur with the hashed password. After creating the account, we can see that the original guest account was deleted and test1 is created instead with a hashed password and an email address, as well as the salt so that password can be remade. Now for the second, I will attempt to use the same username. And we'll see when I sign up, it says username exists, so two users cannot have the same username. I will also attempt to sign up without an email address, and it says that all fields must be filled in. After doing that, if I now check the users table, two different users are here with their password hashed and two different salts, as well as the created timestamp. Now I am unable to log in or sign up with a new account while signed in. We can see this here. Already logged in, I'm unable to create a new account. Now I'll go into the friend list where we can see that the other account exists. We see the status, which is currently not friends, and we can send a friend request. After sending the friend request, the other user can either accept or decline. After accepting, we both go back to the title screen, and the test1 user creates a lobby. They then invite test2. And after joining, we can ready and start. But before starting, I will change the rule set slightly. I will be increasing the initial melt score to 31, adding 2 jokers, and making ace only high, not low or both. I will also decrease the initial hand size down to 7 so that a full game can be played in a reasonable amount of time. You can also export this file to a JSON and import a JSON file. I've created a separate file so that when imported, you can see that this file has a separate has a separate rule set that can be imported. I'll now import the original one that I will be using for this. I do there. Now, both players ready up, and the host can start the game. After starting, on the top left we can see a tooltip for the current phase of the game. As well, on the top right we have a way to exit back to home. In the middle we have the deck and the discard pile. You may draw from the discard pile during rummy, however, when that occurs is different. We can also see your username at the bottom, and it is green when it is your turn, and it is white when it is not your turn. If we go to the SQL database now, we can now see that despite all the weird syntax that's happening here, we can see that everything is as it should be. This weird syntax is due to the fact that the rule set is a JSON file and it is attempting to display that. Well, it is struggling to display that. However, know that this is nothing to do with the efficacy of the program. I can also sort rank and sort by suit on for each hand. I will now draw from the deck, sort, and see that I do not have an invalid meld, and as such will discard a card. After discarding, it goes to the top of the discard pile, which is the only card that you can see here. As such, it acts as a stack. It is now the opposing player's turn, and they again can draw from the discard pile, sort their hand, and as well, there is one valid set here. So I'll be selecting those 3 cards, storing the meld, and I will attempt to play it. However, the current minimum score as set by the rule set is higher than the score of the stored meld. As such, I cannot play it. So I will instead discard a card. It is now the opposing player's turn, and this will repeat until all cards in the hand are gone. Clear deselects all cards. For example, if I select a card by accident, I can clear all selected cards and select a card again, or I can simply discard a card. If I attempt to draw from the discard pile, depending on the rule set, it can say melding required to draw from discard. As well, whenever a player wants, they can press the escape button and see the current rules, the turn order, and the action buttons available. This is done to keep the game moving, even if a player requires a cheat sheet to see the rule set. Furthermore, on the SQL side, we can see in the game history table the user ID of each player, the game ID of the game, the current result, and the role that each player has. Further, if a player disconnects from the game, for example, a player disconnected, the game is paused, we can now either create a new game or join back again.